First at 4, breaking news out of Minneapolis and the case that sparked protests worldwide. New charges are expected to be announced for all 4 officers in the death of George Floyd. And it's a rare sight, the CEOs of Michigan's biggest companies standing together with a commitment to end racial inequality. Their plan for change. Paula.
So what does it really take to open a restaurant in the next couple of days? Well, a whole heck of a lot. We'll take you inside one.
We are halfway to a beautiful weekend, but we've got one more round of storms to go through. Will it be more than what we saw last night? We'll look at that right now. First at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon. We do begin first at 4 with that major development out of Minnesota this afternoon. It's what protesters have been demanding for days. We are expecting new charges to be announced at any moment for all 4 officers seen on that now infamous video of George Floyd. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with what we're learning about the charges. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. For the first time, the 3 officers seen standing by as Officer Derek Chauvin pressed his knee into Floyd's neck will face charges. The announcement comes one day before planned memorial service for George Floyd. So here's what we know.
All right, we're having a little audio technical.
In a tweet from Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, she says charges will be upgraded for former police officer Derek Chauvin. Senator Klobuchar says he will now face second-degree murder charges, which is an increase from third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter charges. The 3 other officers on the scene will face charges of aiding and abetting. Here is a live look. Do we have that? As we await Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison to make an official announcement on this. And just an interesting note here, Ellison is a native Detroiter who graduated from Wayne State. He went to high school at U of D Jesuit, grew up in Northwest Detroit, so we are expected to hear from him anytime now, and when we do, we will bring it to you. Today, George Floyd's son, though, visited the spot where his father died, joined by his family's attorney, Quincy Mason, kneeled down and prayed before a crowd. Listen.
No man or woman should be without their fathers.
We want justice.
And we want justice for what's going on right now.
The Floyd family is encouraging protesters to remain peaceful. Again, we are watching for the announcement from Minnesota's Attorney General. We will bring it to you live when we get it and have a full recap coming up on the news at 5. Until then, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
Right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim. We'll see you at 5. Meantime, we do have some breaking news right now. Another domino falling in the Uaw Corruption Scandal. Former union president Gary Jones pleading guilty on charges of embezzlement, racketeering, and tax evasion. Today, Jones admitted to working with 6 other UAW officials to steal union funds for things like golf, cigars, and clothes. He stepped down as union president last year during the middle of a years-long corruption scandal that has led to 13 convictions. Now, as part of the plea deal, Jones is required to cooperate with the ongoing investigation. Jones faces up to 5 years in prison. All right, we've got breaking news, as we just mentioned at the top of the hour. New charges being announced in the death of George Floyd. Let's get to NBC.
Watched Floyd utter his very last words, "I can't breathe," as he pled for his life. The world heard Floyd call out for his mama and cried out, "Don't kill me." Just 2 days ago, when I became the lead prosecutor in the murder of Mr. Floyd, I asked for time to thoroughly review all the evidence in the case, and we looked at the evidence that's available, and the investigation is ongoing at this time. I also said that I know it's asking a lot of people to give us time, particularly people who have suffered for decades and centuries of injustice, to be patient. And yet we did get that time. And together, a very strong, experienced team, which included County Attorney Mike Freeman, his team, and my team, we reviewed the evidence together with the BCA, and we have something to announce today. Before I announce it, I want to say thank you for the patience of the people who they've shown me and our entire team in pursuit of justice. and I'm here to make these announcements right now. First, today, I filed an amended complaint that charges former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin with murder in the second degree for the death of George Floyd. I believe the evidence available to us now supports the stronger charge of second-degree murder. We've consulted with each other, and we agree. Second, today, arrest warrants were issued for former Minneapolis police officers J.A. King, Thomas Lane, and Uaw. Finally, I'd like to announce that today, Hennepin County Attorney Michael Freeman and I filed a complaint that charges police officer King, Lane, and Uaw with aiding and abetting murder in the second degree, a felony offense. I strongly believe that these developments are in the interest of justice for Mr. Floyd, his family, our community, and our state. I'm the lead prosecutor in this case. I'll be speaking and addressing the public, but this is absolutely a team effort. We are working together on this case with only one goal: justice for George Floyd. I want to thank first Mr. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman, who has been a true partner in this matter at every step of the way. His experience and insight have been invaluable and will continue to be counted on by the team. I also want to thank County Attorney Freeman's professional staff who have cooperated and worked together with my staff and the investigating officers from the very minute this case started. I also want to thank Superintendent Drew Evans of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and his professional staff for the care and speed with which they are conducting this investigation. And I want to thank especially U.S. Attorney Erica McDonald and Special Agent in Charge Rainer Drolskagen, who are conducting a parallel federal color of law investigation. I have heard directly from the leadership of the Department of Justice that there is full support for her leadership in pursuit of her investigation. And as she put it so well, one team, one goal, one mission. I agree 100%. As I said earlier, I thank Mr. Floyd's family. I think, and I can speak for Mr. Freeman and I jointly thank them, along with U.S. Attorney McDonald. We thank the community for their patience in allowing us the time and space we need over these days to lay these charges. As it is so hard to do, I now ask for continued patience. This case continues to be under investigation. We will not be able to say very much publicly about the investigation, except that we encourage anyone who believes that they have evidence in this case to come forward and to be cooperative with the investigation. As we develop the case for prosecution, which will also not be able, we will not be able to say very much publicly about it, because our job is to seek justice and to obtain a conviction, not to make statements in the press, but to do our talking in court. So I ask for your patience again while we limit our public comments in pursuit of justice. I also ask for your trust that we are pursuing justice by every legal and ethical means available to us. I also want to add a word of caution. The investigation is ongoing. We are following the path of all of the evidence. Wherever it leads, we are investigating as quickly as we can because speed is important. We're also investigating as thoroughly as we can because being complete and thorough is critically important, but it takes time. The reason thoroughness is important is because every single link in the prosecutorial chain must be strong. It needs to be strong because trying this case will not be an easy thing. Winning a conviction will be hard. In fact, County Attorney Freeman is the only prosecutor in the state of Minnesota who has successfully convicted a police officer for murder. And he can tell you that it's hard. I say this not because we doubt our resources or our ability. In fact, we're confident in what we're doing. but history does show that there are clear challenges here, and we are going to be working very hard and relying on each other and our investigative partners and the community to support that endeavor. To the Floyd family, to our beloved community, and to everyone that is watching, I say, George Floyd mattered. He was loved. His family was important. His life had value. And we will seek justice for him and for you, and we will find it. The very fact that we have filed these charges means that we believe in them. But what I do not believe is that one successful prosecution can rectify the hurt and loss that so many people feel. The solution to that pain will be slow and difficult work of constructing justice and fairness in our society. That work is the work of all of us. We don't need to wait for the resolution and investigation of this case to start that work. We need citizens, neighbors, leaders in government and in faith communities, civil and human rights activists to begin rewriting the rules for a just society now. We need new policy and legislation and ways of thinking at the municipal, state, and federal levels. The world of arts and entertainment can use their cultural influence to inspire change that we need. There is a role for all who dream of a justice that we haven't yet experienced. In the final analysis, a protest can shake a tree and can make the fruit ball fall down. But after that fruit is in reach, collecting it and making the jam must follow. The demonstrations and the protests are dramatic and necessary, but building just institutions is more of a slow grind, but equally important. And we have to begin that work as well. We need your energy and we need everyone's help right now. Thank you very much. Thanks. We'll take a few questions. Yes, ma'am.
Numerous acquittals, which acquittals in other cases, notably Rodney King case, which is just carefully, has created.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison announcing new charges against 3 of the officers on the scene when George Floyd was murdered. The other police officers at the center of all this now facing an upgraded charge of second-degree murder. Gabe Gutierrez on the scene right now. Gabe, what's the reaction?
Hello, Lester. Well, the last few hours here have been extremely emotional. Let me step out of the way and show you the growing crowd here at the site where George Floyd took his last breaths. Just a short time ago, when word of these new charges started to arrive, people here dropped down on one knee, a crowd, and put up 4 fingers in each hand saying, "Got all 4." It was extremely emotional, and that came just a short time after the Floyd family attorney, as well as Floyd's 22-year-old son, came here to pay their respects for the first time. The son called for peaceful protest and said that he wanted to honor his father's memory. Again, the reaction here is just beginning. Some of the people we've spoken with say that this is not enough, that they wanted to see even more charges for these officers, but still, there is a sense here that many of these protesters feel like they've finally been heard. This has been the scene of not just anger and outrage, but pain over the last few days, more than a week since the death of George Floyd, and a public memorial is scheduled here in Minneapolis tomorrow. Lester.
Yeah, Gabe Gutierrez, thanks. So again, the officer at the center facing second-degree murder, the other 3 officers aiding and abetting murder. Let's go to Justice correspondent Pete Williams right now in our Washington newsroom. Pete, break these charges down for us, if you will.
Sure. First of all, this is a 40-year maximum under the second-degree murder charge. The one he had faced before third-degree murder was 25 years. There's one additional element in the criminal complaint. It says that at one point, Mr. Floyd, George Floyd, when he was on the ground, said, quote, "I'm about to die." So that's a new element in the charging document against Officer Chauvin. So the other three police officers, let's look at them individually. Uaw is the one that is standing off to the side in the video. Well, what the charges say is that he blocked the view of some of the bystanders and at one point restrained one bystander who was trying to get in and stop Officer Chauvin and get his knee off George Floyd's neck. Alexander King, J. Alexander King, he held the back of, you can see him in the middle there, he held George Floyd's back, and the third officer, Officer Thomas Kane, held his leg. So you see him on the right in that picture there. Now, they're all charged with aiding and abetting, but here is what's true under Minnesota law. If they are convicted, they face the same 40-year penalty that Chauvin would face. So basically, they're as criminally liable under this theory of the case as Officer Chauvin was. So it's the charge against Chauvin is basically what many states call felony murder. There's no intent, but it's committing a murder while attempting or committing a felony offense. So the theory of the case here is that Officer Chauvin, even though he may not have intended to kill George Floyd, did intend to use unreasonable force. And that's the felony murder key to the whole case, Lester.
All right, Pete Williams, thanks very much. And to repeat, all four former police officers involved in the death of George Floyd have now been charged, including a second-degree murder charge against former officer Derek Chauvin. I'll have complete details on Nightly News. And a reminder, I'll be reporting live from Minneapolis tomorrow afternoon on the memorial service for George Floyd. And again, tomorrow night at 10/9 Central with a special report, America in Crisis. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News in New York. Good day, everyone.
As you have just heard, protesters are saying they finally have been listened to. You've been listening to a special report on the new charges of George Floyd, and this just in, the officer Derek Chauvin is now facing an increase of a charge of second-degree murder. The three other officers that were involved that were seen in that video are also facing charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder. And some new information that is just in some of those charging documents. Apparently, before George Floyd did die, he said the words, "I'm about to die." This is a breaking news story. Again, all four officers that were seen in that video clip have been charged. The one officer that was in the center of attention, those charges have been upgraded. We are gathering information here nationally and locally. We will bring more to you as the story develops. As I can imagine, there will be much reaction in the coming hours. Meantime, with another protest set to begin in Detroit, Chief James Craig is speaking about yesterday's confrontations. Dozens of protesters were arrested for violating the city's curfew. A total of 127 people were arrested. 47 of those were from Detroit. The other 80 people were from other Michigan cities like Metamora, Ortonville, and Kimball. Some were actually from Illinois, California, and New York State. Even though arrests were made, the protests here in the city largely remained peaceful.
Last night, the night before, peaceful protests, and that's what we want. That's what Detroiters want.
Now, the chief went on to say that the Detroit Police Department stands with peaceful protesters and denounces the use of excessive force by law enforcement. CEOs from 9 of Detroit's largest companies are standing in solidarity to call for an end to racial profiling, injustice, and police brutality. Today, they committed to a 4-point plan that includes rejecting and eliminating all forms of bias. They're calling upon government officials to hold offenders accountable in the deaths that have occurred, an independent prosecution to eliminate any internal bias, and investing in programs and policies to actually transform existing disparities. They say it is the first step in taking a stand against systematic racism.
There might not be a precise roadmap for how it will happen. That's not an excuse to not work on it and to not try. So inclusion will be our North Star.
There are no easy answers, and we aren't interested in superficial actions. This is our moment to lead and work together to effect real lasting change.
The CEOs say their companies will be investing in programs and policies to help transform disparities that exist locally and nationally. In a break from the president today, Defense Secretary Mark Esper said he does not want to deploy the military to calm protesters across the country.
The option to use active duty forces in a law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort and only in the most urgent and dire of situations. We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act.
Now, earlier this week, President Trump did threaten to deploy the military to enforce order. This afternoon, active duty troops brought in to help in Washington, D.C. have begun to return to their home bases. Now, to the coronavirus and big updates to a restriction that has really been very hard on families. Today, the governor rescinded her executive order on hospital visitation. So that means, effective immediately, you can visit people in hospitals, outpatient clinics, and doctor's offices. Now, there still are some restrictions. You will be evaluated before you enter. You must wear a mask, and there will be specific hours you are allowed in. Today, the state announced 307 more cases, with 17 more lives lost to the virus. As restaurants get ready to reopen on Monday, one owner is preparing for a grand opening for a second time. Dave Young helped open his Oakland County restaurant right before the pandemic hit. As Paula Tubman shows us, it's take two for its big debut.
As you can imagine, there's a flurry of activity for restaurateurs who are really trying to get in gear to open their places of business so that they are safe for their employees and their clientele. For the Irish Tavern in Madison Heights, preparations are being made for a grand reopening of sorts. When Doug Young, the operating partner, opened the doors originally, it was March 2nd. 13 days later,
March 15th was our last day of operation.
He had to shut down because of COVID-19.
It's been a long haul. It's been sometimes frustrating.
And while it's been difficult, as anyone can imagine, to have no commerce for a new business, he's embraced the challenge with the creativity and transparency for his customers to reopen.
We will be stepping up and having every half hour, doorknobs, handles, bathroom things, and making sure that we're just stay on top of keeping everything clean and safe for both the consumer and our employees.
He actually has 4 different locations he's dealing with. So the grand reopening of the Irish Tavern, and then his other restaurants, the Fork and Pint in Lake Orion and Waterford, and also an Irish Tavern in Waterford. He's going above and beyond, starting with not only a stringent routine to make sure the people cooking and serving the food are healthy, but going so far as to post the information at the front door for customers to see and be assured.
It's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge we all have to face.
Also at the front, a Go Kit from Oakland County, which has secured 10,000 such kits for its businesses throughout the county, with the ability to re-up those supplies.
It is prescriptive, but it's not meant to be from an enforcement perspective. We're really trying to help our businesses understand what's required, and we want to give them the tools and the equipment and supplies they need to help do it in a safe way.
Today, Doug continues his rebuild out with reduced seating capacity. Even his booths have actually had a design constructed of PVC brackets, so the booths will actually be isolated from one another.
We have frames that are built that we will be mounting on top of the booths here.
All menus will be disposable, or you can actually use a barcode to bring up the menu on your own device.
Our full menu will be available to look through your phone, again, reducing the amount of shared contact items.
This is survival mode, not only for a restaurant.
I think there's a full year of sleepless nights still ahead of me,
but for its clientele.
It's the right start, the right direction, and we're excited to get back at it.
Doug will be opening his restaurants next week. Paula Tubman, Local 4.
And of course, we wish him so much luck. All right, thank you, Paula. Well, the restaurant industry isn't the only one gearing up for reopening tomorrow. Retailers can open their doors to customers without an appointment. So tomorrow morning on Local 4 News Today, we are going to break down exactly what that means for you. You might have woken up in the middle of the night by those serious storms moving through the area. The wind brought trees down like these in Warren. Crews were out cleaning up that mess, but this afternoon it's much nicer out there. Let's throw it over to Ben and see what we can expect for the next couple of hours.
Yeah, Karen, we do have a pretty nice finish, and Thursday doesn't look half bad either, but that line of storms that moved through last night did produce some damage. Most of that was in Genesee County, and then further off to the east side, you saw there Macomb County, St. Clair County saw some damage as well. And that line, even though the warnings pretty much stopped there at Genesee County just after 2 a.m., still did a little bit of damage there as they moved towards the lakes. on the east side overnight. Otherwise, tonight, temperatures will fall out of the 80s as we head into the evening hours, 70s for most of us, especially after sunset, and then 68 at midnight. Clearing skies tonight. Should be a cool start tomorrow, but if you really want the cool air, that's coming this weekend. We'll check that out, and the storms in between, all coming up in a few minutes, Karen.
All right, thank you, Ben. Much more ahead. First at 4, the president is banning some airlines from flying into the U.S. because of something that happened to Delta Airlines. And the photo that shows how important protective gear was for one trooper during a riot likely saved his life when someone started shooting.